I'm Zach Blackburn. I'm an instructor of flexography here at Central Piedmont Community College in Charlotte, North Carolina. Today, we're going to learn how to mount a plate for a Comco Cadet press. So before you get started, you need to gather up the materials that you're going to need. You're going to need a pen, black Sharpie, a blade, your plate that is trimmed down nice and neat. You'll need a cylinder that is the correct repeat length that matches your plate. You're going to need your sticky back, and you're also going to need your plate mounter. So before we begin, we need to find the center of our plate. So our mounter has a ruler on it, and I just measure from bare bar, and I find the center of it, and I mark it on the back side of the plate with my black Sharpie. So just a little black mark's all you need. The next thing I'm gonna do is take my cylinder, put the gear side to my left, put it on and tighten it up. Alright, so now we're ready to put the sticky back onto the cylinder. What's important that you do at this point is you identify the score line. The score line is there because that's where you're going to cut on it. Whenever you put the blade to the cylinder, you want to make sure that it is going in that score line. Otherwise, you'll scratch the cylinder and damage it. So I take my sticky back and I peel off just a little bit. And you don't have to butt it up right against the gear. I see people wanting to put it right up against the gear all the time, but it's totally unnecessary. So what I'm going to do is I come here, and you see how I got it? See how I have it butted up right against the cylinder? So that's what I want, and I'm going to just stick it down right beyond that score line there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off right at that score line with my blade. Like so. Now I'm just going to roll it on, and I'm keeping it pushed right up against the cylinder. That keeps it straight. So as I'm going on, I'm just kind of working it on. And then I came back around to that score line. So again, I'm going to use my ruler. And I'm going to cut again on that score line. So we have a nice smooth seam right here, but it's right up against each other, nice and even, and it does not overlap. Perfect. So at this point, I'm going to peel the top layer off of the sticky back to expose the stickiness. Alright. One little trick that I like to do is I just take my finger and I want to rub it right on the seam. By doing that, it takes a little bit of the stickiness off the seam, so if I put the plate on and I have to peel it back up, it won't peel the sticky back up with the plate. So, and it just kind of smooths it out there. Alright, so what I need now is I need a horizontal line going across it, just a little bit above where my where the seam is for my sticky back. So I grab my pen and I just go ahead and put that line on there. Now you need a real fine line there, so don't use your Sharpie whenever you do this. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark the center point of the press. It's not the center of the cylinder, and that throws people off. It's not the center of the cylinder, it's the center of the press. And what you do is you take your ruler, you bump it right up against the gear, right up against it, not on top of it, and you're gonna put a mark at 4 1/16. Now our ruler has a little mark right there where that is, so it's just past the 4 mark. Just a little marks there, all you need. Now, to actually get the plate mounted on there, you line up the center mark that we made earlier, and then you use your register marks as your guide. So so the horizontal line in that register mark on the top is gonna line up with that line. So I line the register marks up with the line, and I line my center mark up to the center mark on my cylinder. And I just stick it down. Now what I gotta do is I need to roll it on to see how well I did. Now I'm not really like kind of sticking it down hard right now because I'll probably have to make some adjustments. If you get it the first try, you're awfully good. And I did not. I use my bearer bars as a guide, and what has happened is the tail that I wrapped around is a little bit on this side, so I need to bring it this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to peel it up. I'm not going to peel it up all the way. And so since the tail was a little too far this way, as I'm pulling it around, I'm gonna tug on this corner to kind of pull it this way. So I just pull, and I just kind of, see how I'm just kind of tugging in this direction. So I didn't need to move them far, just a little bit. And now, it looks like I got it lined up pretty even there. So if I'm happy where it is, I double check both sides, and I make sure that there's no overlap. It's looking pretty good. I got a little bit of a gap there because, well, the plate wasn't trimmed perfectly straight, but that's okay. It's not really going to show up too much. And I just examine my bearer bars and make sure that the line just keeps lined up. And if I'm pleased with that, I usually have a roller handy, and I can just roll out the air bubbles on it. Nice and good. All right. The last thing that we do once we've got it ready to go is I'm gonna take my Sharpie and I'm gonna peel up the edge just a little bit. I'm talking about just a very small amount. And we're gonna take the Sharpie and I'm gonna put it on the underside of the plate. Now what the Sharpie actually does on the underside of the plate is it helps the plate on the edges adhere to the sticky back better. I don't know the chemistry behind it. If anybody knows, put that in the comments. That'd be awesome. But for some reason it adheres to the sticky back a little bit better. So I just put it on there, I give a little blow so it dries before I stick it back down. And then I stick it back down. And then just repeat on the other edge. So pretty easy to do. And this, believe it or not, this does help quite a bit. Because one of the biggest problems that we have, especially on a longer run, is that that ink will start getting up under the plate and it makes it peel off. So, but by putting a little bit of the black Sharpie there, for some reason it just sticks better and it sticks longer, and there's less of a problem of the plate peeling off. So, there we go. Our plate is now mounted and we're ready to go. The last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up after myself, throw away all scraps. And now I'm ready to start printing.